There are lights in the universe that do not guide. They lure. From across the abyss, they arrive as something delicate, clean, almost innocent. A blue point in the dark, the kind of light a human eye might trust. The kind of signal an old sky survey might mistake for just another distant star. But some lights are not born to comfort. Some lights are evidence. Long before anyone understood what they were seeing, astronomers found one such point hanging near the edge of familiar constellations. It was small, faint, beautiful in the way remote things often are, a quiet spark pinned to the black fabric of space. Nothing about it looked violent. Nothing about it warned of appetite. Nothing about it suggested that behind that tiny blue illusion waited one of the largest and most ferocious black holes ever measured. Its name is TON 618, and it does not merely exist in the universe, it acts upon it. At first glance, TON 618 was the prettiest lie in astronomy. A pinprick, a false, jewel, a blue stain of calm on a night so vast that human thought can barely cross it. It looked still, it looked contained, it looked like something that belonged to the old comforting illusion that the heavens are made of lights to admire from a distance. But that distant blue point was never a star, it was the exposed wound of a galaxy. What we were seeing was not peaceful light, it was the glare of matter being dragged inward, gas, dust, ruin, entire rivers of creation spiraling toward a mouth so deep that even light, the fastest thing we know, cannot escape once it crosses the final line. That line is called the event horizon. A simple phrase, a quiet phrase. But around TON 618, that boundary is so enormous that a beam of light would need weeks just to cross the darkness of its shadow. Weeks, not to cross a galaxy, not to cross a nebula, to cross the silhouette of the thing itself. This is where beauty breaks, because the light around TON 618 is not decoration. It is not a halo of grandeur. It is friction, compression, matter screaming as gravity forces it into a spinning execution ground called an accretion disk, a furnace flattened into a circle, a graveyard made luminous, a place where material does not simply fall, it is stripped, heated, shredded, accelerated and fed inward in widening circles of no return. From far away, it glows like a jewel. Up close, it is a feeding mechanism, and at the center of that mechanism lurks a mass so obscene it almost sounds invented. More than 60 billion suns crushed into a dominion of darkness. A black hole so heavy that comparison begins to fail, numbers lose shape around it. Language becomes smaller, the mind reaches for proportion and returns empty-handed. This is not merely a black hole, it behaves like a sentence passed on matter itself. Everything near it is judged. Gas is condemned to orbit faster and faster until heat turns it radiant. Light is bent into curves it was never meant to take. Space is forced into obedience. Time begins to lose its familiar rhythm. And all around that central dark, the disk blazes with such violence that the quasar can outshine the galaxy trying to contain it. A galaxy can spend billions of years building stars. TON 618 can erase the sky they live under. And that is only the beginning. Because the true horror of TON 618 is not simply its size. It is the way it rewrites reality in its vicinity. Near a black hole like this, space is no longer a stage where events occur. It becomes part of the event. Gravity does not merely pull, it distorts the architecture beneath everything. Light from behind the black hole can be bent upward and around, creating impossible halos and warped rings. Photons can circle the abyss like trapped insects before escaping. One side of the disk brightens and hardens into blue-white fire. The other reddens and dims as if the universe itself were bruising. Stand near it, if such a thing were possible, and the cosmos would stop looking honest. The black would not be empty, the light would not be trustworthy, the geometry would not be sane, and higher still, above the disk, hangs the corona. A cloud of violence, a billion-degree haze of chaos threaded by brutal magnetic fields. A place so extreme it feels less like weather and more like punishment. From there comes X-ray fury, invisible, merciless. The kind of radiation that does not merely touch matter, but alters its fate. Then come the jets. No one has fully solved them. That may be the most unsettling part. Even now, near the edge of our understanding, black holes still keep methods we cannot entirely decode. Somehow, some of the material rushing inward is seized, twisted by magnetic power, and hurled outward in colossal beams at nearly the speed of light, as if the monster feeds with one hand and strikes with the other. These jets do not end at the borders of some local storm. They reach outward into the host galaxy and beyond, heating gas, disturbing structure, choking the cold clouds from which stars are born. This is not weather. This is policy. TON 618 does not merely consume what falls into it. It can dictate what may live around it. It can shut down futures before they begin. So imagine, for a moment, the cruelest deception of all. Imagine a region of that distant galaxy far from the core, a place where stars still burn, where dust drifts in elegant lanes, where, from a safe enough distance, space might almost resemble home. There may be worlds there, frozen rocks, silent moons, perhaps even rare zones where chemistry performs its slow, hopeful work. At first glance, it is a familiar arrangement, a galaxy, a neighborhood, structure, beauty. But then you turn toward the center, and the truth rises. At the heart of that elegant system is not a sunlit sanctuary. It is a ruling darkness wrapped in fire, a central engine flooding its own kingdom with radiation, heat, winds, and jets. A false refuge poisoned from within. The kind of place that teaches the oldest lesson in the cosmos. Familiar does not mean safe. If you feel the pull of places like this, if part of you wants to keep descending into the dark rather than turn away, then stay with me. Subscribe. Keep following this signal, because the universe hides its worst truths behind its most beautiful lights, and this is only one of them. Yet that violence is only half the story. Because TON 618 is not just a devourer. It is also a beacon. This is the terrible bargain of quasars. They destroy locally, but reveal at unimaginable distances. Their light crosses billions of years. It arrives ancient, delayed, haunted by the time it has spent moving through the dark. And because it shines so fiercely, it backlights the early universe itself. It lets us glimpse matter between galaxies. It lets us study cosmic growth in youth. It lets us look not only at a monster, but through it, into an era when galaxies were still assembling their identities. TON 618 is predator and witness, executioner and messenger. Its glow may be born from violence, yet that same glow carries testimony. In its radiance is a record of a younger cosmos. In studying it, we are not merely staring at an abyss. We are reading an old crime scene written across billions of light years. And still, a deeper problem remains. How did something like this happen so early? That question hangs over TON 618 like a second shadow, because supermassive black holes are frightening enough. But ultramassive ones appearing in the deep past of the universe feel almost premature. As if the cosmos grew something before it was ready. As if one engine of darkness learned too quickly how to feed. Astronomers can describe the disk, the radiation, the jets, the shadow. But the growth itself still feels like a challenge thrown at every neat model we build. How do you make a thing this huge in a universe this young? How do you feed it fast enough? How do you explain a devourer that seems to have arrived before the banquet was even set? And because no human craft will ever approach TON 618, our missions to it are acts of vision, not travel. We do not send explorers, we send eyes. Hubble helped confirm that monstrous black holes are not myths hidden in equations, but real powers lodged in galactic hearts. Chandra stared into violent growth and X-ray fury. Webb now peers through dust, through redshift, through distance itself, helping separate the blinding quasar from the ghostly galaxy around it. These observatories are our fragile scouts. They do not land. They do not survive the source. They only endure the light long enough to tell us what it has done. And even that has a cost. When we study TON 618, we do not see it as it is now. We see it as it was billions of years ago when the light began its journey. Every image is delayed truth. Every measurement is ancient testimony. We are always late to the scene, always reading the aftermath, always building certainty from signals that have crossed an age of darkness to reach us. That alone should humble us. But the future of TON 618 is darker still, not because it will explode, not because it will dramatically die, because it may simply continue. Black holes grow by feeding. They grow by merger. Galaxies collide, centers drift together. Darkness inherits darkness. One day the brilliant quasar phase may fade, the inferno may quiet, the visible violence may dim, and to a distant observer the beacon could vanish, but the black hole would remain, larger perhaps, heavier, silent. That is the disturbing future of TON 618, not a blaze of final destruction, but endurance. The light may go out while the devourer survives. The warning signal may disappear, leaving only a greater dark behind it. A creature no longer announcing itself with fire, a hunger no longer glowing. Just mass, just gravity, just a deeper wound in reality waiting at the center of whatever is left around it. In the end, TON 618 is more than a black hole, more than a quasar, more than a spectacle designed to make human minds feel small. It is a reminder that the universe is not built for our comfort, our scale, or our instinct for fairness. Out there, beauty can be a disguise, light can be a confession, and the most radiant thing in the sky can be powered by destruction beyond all human precedent. If places like this exist, and they do, then the cosmos is not merely vast, it is capable of extremes without mercy. And perhaps that is the final lesson. Not that the universe is broken, but that it was never shaped to feel reasonable to us. TON 618 does not break the universe. It reveals the part of the universe that breaks us, the part where our language fails, where our theories strain, where wonder and dread become the same emotion, seen from different distances. So if you choose to keep looking into mysteries like this, stay with the channel, walk deeper into the dark with me, because beyond every beautiful light, there may be another truth waiting to unmake what we thought the cosmos was. And somewhere out there, long after its fire has faded, TON 618 will remain, silent, unseen, and still feeding the oldest fear we have ever known, that the universe is far stranger than the light it shows us.